Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm so excited to share some awesome stuff with you. How to act from free choice, not from habit. Like children without discipline, over the centuries, we have formed many bad habits, and we must break those for the good of our children, for the good of the future generations, so that we actually will have a home, a Mother Earth, a nature, a way to succeed that isn't full of darkness. We're here with free will. You know what that means, right? That means that we can do whatever we want, and that we will always be sustained no matter what, and will never be judged by the sustainer. So we're in a playground of life, and we are ultimately responsible for things that happen to us. So how do we break those bad habits? How do we strengthen our willpower? That is the key. That's the only way that we evolve in this world, is through not just intention, but one step further, volition. We are going to go all out. We're going to be determined to quit a habit. We're going to be determined to provide sustainable acts. We're going to be determined to raise healthy children. If we are supported in the things that we really need, in the good things, then we kind of evolve to understand how to use our will in the best way possible. Now that we're in this day and age and we have to use our strong willpower to change ourselves and disrupt what is happening in the outer world, and to evolve into a place of expanded freedom, we need to really focus on how we can connect deeply. When a baby is born, the baby takes its first breath, and it's a painful breath to open up those lungs and to kind of come into the world. It's the first breath, the first few breaths. You wonder why the baby cries. Well, it's because there's a will behind this. There's a scream, there's a cry to breathe that air. So we want to become very conscious of the doer behind our will, the one that is granting us life behind our will. So if we can be in that awareness, then we're not alone in changing something. We're not alone in trying to succeed. We are always partnered with the greatest power there is. So we have to remember that. Please be aware of how you're thinking, because there is so much power in the thinking will. So even if we're thinking negative thoughts or we're judging situations or others, we're using our thinking will to disband our efforts and to not contribute in the best way to the whole. So if we can use our thinking will of positive thoughts, of ways that we can just even go outside and admire nature and think about the beauty of a flower, or the beauty of children playing in a playground and having fun, or like whatever it is that we want to do that's going to be fun and positive and constructive, that in our thinking will is a massive shift in itself. The wisdom to do, good things, things that are beneficial, that are out of love, that are respectful for all that is, for the environment, to our families, to our friends, to our colleagues, to our children, to all that is. And if we see somebody doing something that is out of wisdom, then that person is doing something out of God's will, which is a recipe for trouble. So, being aware of what is the wisest choice for the whole, not for the ego, not for a person's ability to get ahead, not for a selfish gain. We should always contact that intuition first, contact God first, ask yourself, is this the best thing for me to do? How is this going to affect my life? How is this going to make a difference? Recently I've had to do that myself because I've worked in the film industry for many years and I really love my job, but I have been working on projects where there has been violence and there has been dark stories. And so I have decided the last few years that I'm not going to do that anymore. I checked in. It doesn't feel right. I don't think I'm helping the whole by putting out content that is abusive, that is dark and violent, that is something that I wouldn't want my children to watch. And I know as a collective consciousness, it's not generating a good result. But if you can look at your life and think, what is it? Am I doing anything? Am I using my will? Am I practicing a bad habit? Or am I using my will out of wisdom, to do good stuff for myself, for my family, for everyone, right? We already possess the divine will within us because we are made of God's will, of God's light, and we are made of God's divine energy. That's the engine that keeps us alive, and that keeps this entire earthly plane present for us to play in. So knowing that, we can match our own personal will with the divine will. We can merge those two things, no matter what our prenatal or postnatal karmic activity is, our environment, our family, worldly events, whatever's happening. We can meditate and become one in awareness with our divine will. And then from there we can progress. And we can progress and make the best choices for our lives and for the whole. So, recapping, stopping bad habits, cutting off bad habits is simply an adjustment of wisdom. Am I being wise in doing this to my body? Am I being wise in making this choice for my inner child? Am I being wise in making this choice for my children? Am I being wise in making this choice for the collective consciousness of the whole? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves every time we embark on something, whether we're using our thought will or our own personal will, energetic will, especially our will when we merge it with the divine awareness. So, I hope that helps. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm happy to answer any questions and have the will to continue my teachings. Bye for now.